Hi guys, this is a video that we recorded last week prior to Gannon being found, and in this video the portion you're seeing is that we are on our way to be filming County Line Road, exit 163, that Letecia claimed to have taken when she was taking the back roads to go to Castle Rock, when she claimed that she was going looking for a bicycle for Al for Valentine's Day. And you know, that whole story never sat right with me or my husband. We were discussing it extensively because, among other things, you wouldn't buy a bicycle for an adult without them being there, so you would know what size and things like that. And you know, bicycles a very personal thing, and you need proper equipment. And we're assuming, since she was talking about possibly getting it from Play It Again Sports. Remember, she was saying broken, disjointed things, so it was extremely annoying. But it seemed that she said she was going to talk to a guy about Play It Again Sports, about a bike. And then throughout Castle Rock, so there was never really any true information as to where she was going to look for the bicycle. Could have been Play It Again Sports, could have been Castle Rock, could have been Play It Again Sports in Castle Rock, could have been the guy, who knows. But you know, working from that and thinking that she was at least trying to make the where she went fit in with going to Castle Rock, and back roads, and not knowing what she really meant by back roads. And because so many people had been interested in Black Forest, we had gone out to Black Forest and did some video there, and then we were taking the 83 north to County Line Road, which is exit 163 from the I-25. And while we were doing this little trip, we were noticing that the whole area is very similar to what you're seeing right now. It is residential. They are larger properties, but there are fences, and there are homes, and there are people and traffic. And you know, in the middle of the day, in a bright red truck, she would have stood out if she would have pulled over any place. This is a semi-wooded, I would say, but as you can see with the trees there, if you actually look off to the sides, you can see through the trees because there's not really any shrub down below. The trees have like naked trunks for several feet up, and so there's pretty clear line of sight, and there's no place to really pull a car in there unless you're going in somebody's driveway. So she would have had to pull over on a shoulder if she had done any of the things that she's allegedly done in this particular area. And as you can see, even though it had been really warm, and this is I believe prior to the most recent snowfall, there is some snow in the shaded areas. And off to the right, you can see a body of water. I remember my husband and I discussing that, and at the time we were trying to figure out if that would have been a viable place for her to have put Gannon. Obviously, she never did stash him in water here in Colorado. Or anywhere for that matter. I think she thought she was stashing him in water over there in Florida, if indeed she is the one that disposed of him there. Anyway, here we are rolling up on the I-25. This is exit 163, and if this is where she had gotten off, either going north or south, this would be County Line Road, exit 163, that she would have taken. And here we go. See, that's the southbound getting off on 163. It's the same for either direction. And we are, and sorry, clearing my throat. This road goes to Palmer Park. And as you can see, we've gotten more out of the trees, and we have more clear line of sight. So she most likely didn't do anything through this stretch. There's, fences and properties. And I apologize, the road is very, very bumpy, and we've run this through the stabilizer a few times trying to get the best video we can with the equipment that we have. I'm also still using a cell phone. We've been doing the whole social distancing and mostly isolating, for that matter. So not really heading to any stores to look for cameras. I'd have to do some more research online too to see what exactly I'd be looking for anyway before buying one. As you can see, it's really nice out here. Real nice area. But as you can see, this part of it is sparsely treed. It's a very slow zone also. I believe through this section the speed limit was 35 miles per hour, and I remember going over the bumps and stuff and thinking that could bounce stuff around in the bed of a pickup truck a little bit, but that nothing would bounce out at the speed limit, and I seriously doubt that she was going anything above the speed limit without getting a ticket anyway, because even before this crime took place, anytime we'd be out in this particular area, and see there's one of the speed limit signs, but we're coming into Palmer Lake now too though. Off on the left side of the road we saw what appeared to be a target range. We don't know for sure if it's a firearm target range or not. But also, when thinking, where would a gunshot not be noticed, and some people had suggested maybe she was somewhere within sound range of a firing range. Well, we are going to investigate what sort of firing ranges are available, or see if there's even some off the books, or whatever you want to call it, target places. It's also open season year-round for varmints, and so in more rural areas a gunshot really wouldn't attract any attention. See the dogs in that car? Yeah, people really love the outdoors around here, and we like to take our dogs for runs, and so any day of the week you're running a chance of running into somebody else who also enjoys the outdoors and's out there either with their pets or just enjoying it outdoors on their own. And see that road to the right, and this one right here, this road to the right is the one that goes to the search area that we featured in an earlier video, which is the place where they were sifting the snow. And over here to the left is a large body of water that she would not have been able to stash weapons or or Gannon or anything like that in, because there are a lot of houses looking right on the water. But as I was saying, further back, that first right, if you didn't have a GPS and you didn't have a cell phone with you, and 30-mile-an-hour zone, you probably would have taken that first right because it looks like it runs parallel to the 25. And instead, she did not take that one. She took the second one, which, doesn't look like, it does head north, but it doesn't look like it from there. So she probably had some kind of idea, some sort of plan in her head of where she was going or what she thought she would do. I don't know if she'd ever been there in person prior to that, or if she'd just done it through maps or something and didn't realize how populated the area is. But it's still is an interesting choice for her to come over here, because as you can see, it's a community. It's not the middle of nowhere, and there's a lot of line of sight. And driving the bright red truck, that would draw someone's attention. I've lived in small communities before, and I know that whenever a stranger drove through a vehicle I wasn't used to seeing, I would look at it. And if somebody had asked me a few days later, I probably would have remembered that, it being out of the ordinary. Anyway, don't forget that I do welcome comments, and if anyone has any comments, any ideas of places that they'd like me to take another look at, please comment below. In the meantime, we're going to be working on the footage that we've already shot and get some of that posted up. And like I said, all of the footage that we currently have is stuff that was filmed prior to Gannon being found. And I think now, rather than trying to find Gannon, the focus of anything would either to be just get a feel of the area, or to try to get an idea of the time frame of the crime. Maybe the location of where it was committed and where Gannon was. I don't know whether the law enforcement, where Gannon was prior to being transported to Florida. And I don't know whether law enforcement has found the murder weapons or not. And if we don't want to get in law enforcement's way, and we're definitely not going to muck anything up or touch anything if we do find anything pertinent. But if we did come across anything, we would definitely document it and contact law enforcement and make sure that proper care was taken. And we've been to Florida many times, and that's another thing that was puzzling us, because the route that she took obviously was not the fastest one to get there. We have taken similar to the route that she took for the sake of sightseeing and going to various places along the way, taking family on a road trip to enjoy the sights and the places to eat and things like that. But anyway, we were thinking about that, and we were thinking about she could have driven him, but also thinking that she could have handed off the I hate to have to say it like this, but package to someone else and have them deliver it to her. And here we're heading into Monument. Anyway, before Gannon was found, we were thinking that it was possible that she could have had him trafficked, since we were looking around and not finding any place feasible for where she could have put him at the time. Oh, there's a food truck to the left. And then we started thinking that she could have done something similar to him once he was deceased as well, though she could have found someone to transport a package for her, and then she could have picked it up somewhere. Because right here there's a large truck stop off to the left, and that would be a place where such a handoff could take. Anyway, once we left Monument, we got onto the ramp to go south to Colorado Springs. Please comment, like, or subscribe, and talk to you in the next video. Thanks for watching.